Coming up for Leading Second.
I think in ministry right now, we're too addicted to being big. I think we need to ditch that as a goal. I don't know about you. I'm not trying to build big ministry anymore. I want to build effective ministry. Something that is effective for the purposes of God.
For all those who serve on church teams, serving a vision bigger than themselves.
And if you are a pastor, and if you are a minister, and if you are a leader, and if you are a builder.
For all those leveraging their life for the cause of Christ.
I really only know you're all in until you don't get your way. It's the only way I can ever really know you're here for the vision. It's easy to come for a program. It's easy to come for a person. It's easy to come for a position. But I'm talking about the vision.
Posture of a second chair leader is this: I am blessed with everything and entitled to nothing.
Special guest Charlotte Gamble.
In order to step into our callings, we must step out of our comfort.
And Pastor Larry Bry.
We are going to expand it so that more people can come underneath the umbrella and meet Jesus as their Lord and Savior.
And he's saying, I've entrusted a moment to you. I've entrusted something to you. I've entrusted resource to you. I've entrusted opportunity to you. What are you going to do now with the opportunity I gave you to build my church and move the kingdom of God forward?
Leading Second Camp, February 25th and 26th, 2026, San Antonio, Texas. Register today at leadingsecondcamp.com. Welcome to the Leading Second podcast, a space to help church leaders thrive in the second chair. Today's conversation will help you embrace your calling, get it right with your pastor, and lead in an uncommon way. Let's jump in.
Well, Leading Second, we're back. Welcome back to the Leading Second podcast. My name is Brandon Stewart. We're so excited and honored you're here. And on these couple episodes, we're talking through the enemies of ownership, 6 enemies of ownership in preparation for the launch of Lead It Like You Own It, our ministry's first book. We're so excited about that. Welcome back to this space. I have an incredible group of minds joining me again to continue the conversation. And I think just establish some urgency around why it matters that we raise up owners in God's house. Welcome back, Travis Marshall.
Hey, good to see you.
Glad you're here. Christian World Church, Dallas, Texas. Their leadership team, so rich, such a sweet spirit. Travis has been cultivating it for years. And I was there last year doing ministry. Had to be one of like the great moments of the last few years for me. Just the sweet ministry spirit your team has. It's deep. It's rich.
Our lead pastors model it so well. They make it easy to follow.
They do. They're wonderful. They're wonderful. Joseph Kelley's back.
Good to be back.
Discovery Church.
Yes.
Oklahoma City.
OKC. Your NBA champions.
I'm going to own it. I'm going to lead it like I own it. OKC Thunder, I'm here. I know that's like Seattle suicide.
Come on.
But I don't live in Seattle anymore.
We'll take it.
So I'm in. Welcome back. Glad you're here.
Good to be here.
Jen Martin.
Yes, Spurs fan.
Ooh, come on.
Yes, I mean we haven't won in a while.
We
but
haven't.
I am still a fan.
We're glad you're here. NorthRock
Thank
Church,
you.
San Antonio, Texas.
Yes.
Executive pastor, but also we mentioned on the last episode a founder. You're really unique, a second chair founder. You were there from day one, and yet no other ideas. You are under authority. You are a second chair.
Absolutely.
Leader.
Yes. I would make a terrible first chair.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, God has been so good to me, and honestly, leading second has been a huge piece of just solidifying what I already knew, but that I am called to be a second chair leader.
Yeah. All right. So we have been discussing in this couple episodes the enemies of ownership. We tackled the first 3 in part 1. You're going to have to go back and watch those. We're just looking at why ownership matters, essentially. Why even did we write this book, and why are we going to be studying this as a ministry? So I want to dive into the last 3 now. And these are really important. I think it's just going to get weightier as we go here.
Yeah.
So I want to talk for a minute now about what is called the leadership blind spot, or you could say the self-leadership blind spot. I want to read this excerpt from our book, every driver knows the danger of blind spots. Those areas around your vehicle that mirrors can't show you. You can be an experienced driver checking your mirrors religiously, following all the rules, but still caught off guard by the motorcycle in your blind spot. The problem isn't carelessness or bad intentions. It's a limitation of what you can see.
Right.
Yeah.
And leadership has the same phenomena. There's a critical area that many leaders can't see clearly themselves. We often view leadership through, the lens of who's following me.
Yeah.
That's kind of our lens for leadership. And we see leadership that way. But oftentimes the one person that leaders fail to lead and own is themselves, their own condition.
Yeah.
And so might be kind of a right turn in the book, but to me, we can't talk about ownership without owning the person in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
John Maxwell says the greatest leadership opportunity you'll ever have is to lead the person who looks at you in the mirror
Yeah.
every single day. Why is it important? Why is self-awareness important, Jen, for a leader to work at being more aware of their own condition?
So you said John Maxwell says that they're the hardest person to lead. I mean, they don't listen. For the love of God, that person in the mirror is not listening. I mean, we all know we need to lose weight and eat better, but she's just not listening.
I've never heard it put that way. That's hilarious.
Pretty good.
That's great.
But so there are things about our lives that we think are hidden that we're not aware people can actually see.
Wow.
And so it is a blind spot. It's blind. We are blind to it, but others are not.
Yeah.
And so you have to take the initiative to go figure out what that blind spot is, because while you can't see it, they can. They're having a hard time following you because they can see what you can't see.
Yeah.
And once we figure this out in ourselves, and self-awareness is one of those things that you never master.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of my life, I'm going to stand in front of the mirror and try to lead that person leading. I was going to say girl, and then I'm like, yeah, no, they can see me. I'm way older than that. So woman looking back at me. But I think if you can learn to master her and get real disciplined about the person that's looking back at you, then you build up the credibility to be able to lead other people, because they've seen it all along. It's very hard to lead someone and talk to them about things in their life when you have the same thing wrong in yours.
Sure.
Yep.
And those are the things that we think we have hidden from people. And I know that we're talking about the problem with it and not solving it. And I'm having the hardest time here, Brandon.
I know,
because
we're all fixers.
I'm like, there's so much I'm about to say. And then I'm like,
That's a
no,
solution.
that's a solution. Can't say that.
We're going to spend the whole year working through the solutions here.
The reason that it's important is because we need leaders. We established in part 1 that we need leaders. We have a lack of leadership. So the reason that this is so important, the self-awareness piece is so important, is because to be the leader that we need you to be, we need you to master this piece right here.
And quite frankly, and we have to say this comment with incredible humility, because the gospel posture is to look at the plank in our eye, not the speck of dust in another's. Right. But quite frankly, these are the issues that take people out of ministry the most.
Yeah.
It's self-leadership issues.
Yeah.
We just get backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we get to a place where character can't sustain us.
Yeah.
Those moments. Travis, have you ever had a moment where you felt like you needed to lead yourself
Oh, absolutely.
better?
Yeah. And back to what y'all were both saying there in that little exchange, it's so interesting how quick we are to want to be ready to solve everyone else's problems.
Mm-hmm.
And you just quoted the verse right there. And sometimes it really comes from a direct unspoken maybe desire or unrealized or a blind spot desire in us to look in the mirror and accept that. But yeah, this is why good friends matter.
Yeah. Joseph, why are the stakes high for us in ministry to get this right? I feel like the road is definitely littered with some bodies.
Yeah.
Of people that got taken out for self-leadership reasons.
I think one of the biggest things is,
Hey, quick shout out to our friends at Golf Companies. If you're a church leader who's ever thought, we need more space, but you have no idea where to start, Golf Companies is the team you should know about. They specialize in building churches, and their team includes pastors, designers, and builders who understand how ministry works. They help churches think strategically about what to build, how to pay for it, and how to get from vision to reality without all the stress. So if you're dreaming about what's next for your church, check them out at golfcompanies.com.
that the dysfunction in us is going to be multiplied in those that we lead.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Yes.
You know, we
That's
talk,
heavy.
It is. And, you know, we constantly talk about that our job in raising up leaders around us, we use language like, well, we pour into others. And I think about, you know, if you have a container of water and you're pouring it into several different glasses, whatever's in that container is going to be imparted into those. You know, for us as a church, I think of two very quick examples. As a church, when we went multi-site, and I know you guys have probably experienced this as well, you start seeing certain things in campuses of just even organizational dysfunction. And you're like, well, why do you guys do that way? Well, that's because that's how Central does it. As a parent, I see things in my children and language that they'll use and attitudes and different things. And, you know, well, why do you say that way? Or why do you feel that way? Well, because that's what you do, Dad. And I think that's something we've got to be hyper aware of, is that the dysfunction that we're not addressing, we're continuing to pass that on to those that we have influence with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So good.
A couple sayings that I've heard that have really meant something to me over the years is this: people will hear what you say, but they will become who you are.
Yeah.
So you are really making a deposit.
Yeah.
I've also heard it argued, you impress people from a distance, but you impact them up close.
Yeah.
And I think we view ministry oftentimes in those distance roles. So preaching or on stage or social media for that matter. I mean, not everybody prepares messages, but you know, people that want to be content creators or you know, whatever it is, we tend to value those at a distance moments. But then when people get up close to us, if they ever experience a different version of us when they get up close to us than they did in the other moments, we've got a problem. We've got character inconsistencies, character gaps there that are all too prevalent on teams.
Yeah, I love what you're saying right there, because I think the danger is that we can bleed on people real fast if we're not careful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is the leadership blind spot. And we're just proposing an area of ownership you ought to consider. How are you owning the condition of your life? How are you owning the person you are outside of the spotlight? Okay, let's talk about another enemy. Man, I feel negative episode here. But we got a lot of them. We got things we need to remember here. Let's talk about the gaps on the team. The gaps on the team. There's this idea I heard: you can win alone and still lose. Owners take ownership of the whole team. We often view winning as winning in my job description, my role, what pastor asked of me, what the team needs from me. So we view leadership as kind of personal accomplishment, right? Like, what do I need to be doing here? But owners think way bigger than that.
Yeah.
Owners actually see the condition of the whole team. They don't just look at their room in the house, they consider the whole house. I wrote this in the book. When I moved into my first apartment, I had a rude awakening. There's more to the house than just my room. I was 20 years old and had just started my first job as a youth pastor and was simultaneously living on my own for the first time. Responsibility was hitting hard and fast. Growing up, I was responsible for my bedroom. Keep it clean, make the bed, put away the clothes. Yes, I helped with chores around the house, but I felt ownership of my room. This was my territory, and as long as my room looked good, I had done my job. Living on my own, suddenly there was a kitchen that needed cleaning, a bathroom that required attention, a living room that friends would see. I couldn't just perfect my bedroom and ignore the rest. The whole house was now my responsibility. Here's the danger. We can win alone and still lose. Our departments can be thriving while others struggle. We can execute with excellence while remaining blind to gaps on the team. Owners don't just manage their room, they steward the whole house. They sort of arrive at this place of my team, my responsibility. Jen, I'm coming to you. Nehemiah is our Bible hero in this section of the book because the walls were in ruin. Why don't you just what did Nehemiah encounter coming back from exile?
Yeah. So he gets to Jerusalem and begins to inspect this wall. And what's so interesting is that there were plenty of people living in Jerusalem who got up every day and went about their days and were looking at these gaps and these cracks and this part of the wall that's completely missing and all of these things. And none of them felt ownership, I guess, to repair the wall. And here Nehemiah is, and he sees all of these gaps and these cracks, and he goes and rebuilds the wall. We know the story. And one of the things that I love that you say in the book is it's like in your house. You don't say this in the book. I'm just using my own analogy here, but in our house, I keep a really neat house. I thrive best in order. When things are not in order, I am not okay.
All right.
Being self-aware, we've already talked about it.
Right.
Like I know this about myself. But there is one section of counter that is kind of where the keys get dropped, the phone gets dropped, the mail gets dropped, the package gets dropped. So the house is in order, but there is one little space in our house. And if I'm being completely honest, also my master closet is a little bit chaotic. Those are the two spaces in my house.
Chaotic is probably a couple shoes or misplaced. But continue.
So those are things that I have stopped seeing in my house. If you were to come over, you would be like, gosh, Jen's house looked great, except for that one counter. Why didn't she straighten that one counter? Well, it's because I no longer see that. I've become immune to those things in my own house. I've stopped seeing the things. They've become just part of who I am. And as owners, what Nehemiah did was he inspected the wall. He took, if you read, I believe it's chapter 3. If you read chapter 3, the entire chapter 3 is telling you how he inspects this wall. And I think as owners, we've got to inspect. And it's not fun. It's a little bit like the self-awareness. I would say looking in the mirror and then inspecting our department. Like they're it's 1 and 2. Neither are fun. This is a real negative episode, Brandon. Neither are fun, but both are necessary because, because there are gaps, and we can't model for others what ownership looks like if we are also ignoring the gaps or have become immune to the gaps. And so we have to acknowledge the gaps in the wall and in our departments and on our teams.
And we're just proposing the idea as owners see the whole thing.
Yes.
Owners see the whole thing. And I want to reiterate this. We said this on the last episode. We're joking about being negative. What we're really trying to get you to do is see the problem. Just see it, because we can't address it until we can see it.
Right.
Organizational awareness is like self-awareness. We have to be able to see it before we can begin to address it.
Well, there's a phrase that we commonly use in the church world, which is inspect what you expect.
That's
like
right.
we all have, everybody on here, everybody listening has said this.
Absolutely.
But we don't always do it. We say it and we think that means you Brandon, go inspect what you expect. But like it starts wherever you are listening to this. It starts with you. Go inspect what you expect.
The gospel provides a really high bar for this. And what I mean by that is Jesus' greatest sermon, no doubt, is the Sermon on the Mount. And a couple of years ago, God led me to study the Sermon on the Mount, or just get back to it, you know. And it's a little sneaky passage after the Beatitudes and some of the really well-known stuff. There's a little sneaky passage that says, if your brother has something against you, lay down your offering, go be reconciled, and then come back and bring your offering. And for context, I sort of view our ministries as our offering to the Lord. I like to view it that way. This is my life, my offering to the Lord. And what Jesus said there, if you caught that as a really high bar, he said, if your brother has something against you, think about that. He did not say if you have something against your brother. If your brother has something against you, it's so easy in that moment to go, I don't got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not my problem.
Sure.
They got a problem with me. Not my problem. Right? How easy is it? That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The gospel just calls us higher. And this is where as Christians, we're supposed to be different, especially among God's household. If you know someone's got something with you, you actually have a biblical responsibility to go to them.
Right.
And pause, like lay down the offering you're taking, pause, time out, go to so I'm saying that to say that's another little origin point of my team, my responsibility.
Yeah.
The gospel asks us to do that.
Right.
Right.
To own God's house as if it were our own. What really fast, Jen, what do gaps look like on the team? Like what should leaders be looking for?
Gaps look like people showing up late, not responding to things, hard conversations that we're ignoring.
Yeah.
So many times we think something is a hard conversation that is just a slightly uncomfortable conversation, but could happen like this, and we all move on, and everything gets better, and we put it off until it does become a really hard, difficult conversations. I think probably the most common thing in the church world is hard conversations. Like people just put those off because it is. We have this idea of the church and what that's supposed to be, and I don't want to dive into all of that. I also think that some of the gaps that we experience is excuses for not empowering people. We have all kinds of reasons for why certain people aren't good for certain roles. And one thing about Nehemiah was when you read it, he used perfume makers and he used goldsmiths.
Right.
Goldsmiths were considered wealthy people. Sometimes in the church world, and this is probably not where we need to be going on this podcast, but lots of times in the church world, we will ask people to do things to the level that we see ourselves. So if I see you as wealthier, more educated, smarter, I'm not going to ask you to serve on my team because I could be intimidated by you or something like that. These are just gaps that we see. So when we look around, we disqualify you because you are more than me. I'm insecure or intimidated by you. Nehemiah used priest. Don't you know Nehemiah felt so insignificant going ask a man of God to come lay bricks and mortar? Nehemiah literally used everyone around him, but we have so many excuses for why we don't use people in the church. Those are just a few. I don't want to keep going.
So good. So the point of this is we need to identify the gaps. The gaps exist.
Right.
It's not that they don't exist. It's just where are they? And as an owner, are you willing to see them? Are you willing to take ownership of them, even if they're outside of your scope? You can win alone. You can get a perfect performance review. You can get a perfect grade from your pastor and still lose.
Yes.
On the team.
And at the end of the day, the church loses.
That's right. And so we're going to go to the last enemy that I think we face to ownership. And that is what I'm going to call the weight above us. And the weight above us, the weight that our pastors carry. And it's an enemy because it's invisible. We can't see it. So let me just frame this in for a minute. Our pastors carry a weight we don't carry. They lead from the first chair, and rightly so. They signed up for it. Sure. I do like to remind myself they signed up to do it. They were called to do it, but they still carry a weight, and it's real and it's heavy. And it's an enemy to ownership because we can't own what we can't see. And our pastors carry something sometimes very silently and selflessly and sacrificially, but it's heavy. And I think most reasonable second chair leaders want to do something about that. They want to be helpful, want to serve, but we can't help something we can't see.
Yeah.
We can't help something we don't know is their little sneaky fact about Lead It Like You Own It. Pastor Kevin, my pastor, wrote a chapter in the book. I'm so excited about it. It's tucked back in part 6 of the book. He wrote a chapter, Things Your Pastor Wished You Knew. And hopefully we're trying to peel back the layer a little bit so that we can at least see it, so that we can work toward carrying it. I mean, Travis, why does this matter that we see the load? I mean, don't you feel like, you know, your pastors, you've been in the same church for 4 decades, like I was. Don't you think that the load is great for them right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So much to the degree that I'm so happy that I get to do what I get to do. Right. Never have I had a desire, and I love being able to support that. But yes, and it's one of those things that it's hard to truly ever empathize or sympathize or whichever one is correct there, with the weight that someone else's carries, especially someone that's in a lead pastor role. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to support that. But I think back to this week and just getting to hear the exchange between you and Pastor Nicole and Pastor Kevin, and just some of the stats were just, it's one of those things, if you can move past the stats and just feel the people behind it. I'll just read a couple of them here, but this is something he shared with us, that 33% of pastors, 33%, that's a third. I mean, if you're doing your math right. 33% of pastors are in burnout. 65% of pastors don't have one trusted friend. Like, that hits. That's terrible.
Yep.
And then the last one, 90% of pastors don't retire as pastors. That's
wild. Yeah, that's wild.
Yes.
90% of pastors don't retire as pastors.
It's a crazy stat.
They theoretically exit early, if you will. I'm not trying to put on the second chair weight that doesn't belong there. However, I do believe owners lighten their leaders' load.
Yeah.
Now, maybe one little sub-enemy we could talk about here, one little part of this, is we can unintentionally lean on our pastors and add more weight to their world. I mean, when you think of being in the second chair, you think of following our leader. And so we can unintentionally lean on them and wait for them. In other words, wait for them to get us started on something, or wait for them to initiate the idea, or wait for them to come up with the idea, or wait for them to make the decision, or whatever. And we can actually unintentionally add weight to an already heavy plate. So I think the first thing is we got to not lean, but then it is possible. I firmly believe this is maybe one of my greatest convictions of the whole book. And in our ministry, leaders can lighten the load. And it's joy. It is a privilege to take things off of their plate and to do it well, to do it effectively, and to see them run in the lane that only they can run. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You guys, Joseph, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, we wait so often on clarity, or we wait on their initiative to get us moving. And that's where I think it's so responsible for us to take that ownership, to move it forward, do everything you can on your own. And one of the things we've heard shared recently with us is that even the things that we feel sometimes that we're needing from our pastors is the very things that they feel.
Exactly right.
And so we're asking for them to give us something that they don't even feel that they have on their own, and we're asking them to pour out from a very dry place that they're needing to hear from the Lord. And I think the more secure that we can get, the more confident that we can get in understanding who we are and who God's called us to be, the more that we're able to support, the more that we're able to lift, not lean, and be what our pastors truly need from us.
Here's my goal. My goal is that everyone in the church would be the kind of leader that can build trust with their pastor, stand in for their pastor, and carry weight.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I want to propose. That's the target we're aiming at here in the second chair. And by God's grace, we're going to do it. I am so excited to tell you that Lead It Like You Own It is out very soon. This is a book we've been working on for over a year. I wrote it. It's mine, but I don't see it that way. This is our ministry's resource. First of all, the ministry, little fun fact, is producing the resource. And actually, when you buy the book, you'll be funding Leading Second, not starving kids in the Stewart household or something like that. This is all going to the ministry. This is our resource for you to hopefully sow the seeds of ownership and not just hope and a prayer, but build ownership in your churches, in your teams. I think the gospel needs it. I think our churches need it. I think our pastors need it. And I think our churches will be healthier because of it. Any final thoughts? Guys, we've talked through a lot of enemies. I pray we just shine a light on a few things that we need to be looking at.
I know we've kind of joked about it being one of the negative episodes, but I want to say, I mean, really, you can't begin to bring a solution to it unless you first identify it. And so I thank you for challenging us to lean in and identify the enemies.
Yeah, very good. We're going to be on a journey the whole year. We are kicking off the journey. We're going to look at this from a lot of angles. I'll be sure to stay tuned to Leading Second Instagram. LeadItLikeYouOwnIt.com is going to be our home for the next several months. Make sure to subscribe and follow and stay with us because we're going to be on a great journey to defeat some enemies, thrive in the second chair, take radical ownership of God's church, of the mission, and be found faithful at the end of the day. Leading Second, we love you. It is a privilege. It is a joy. It is the great honor of our life to lead this ministry and come to you and serve you. I'm so excited about the conversations ahead. I'm excited for the shifts coming in your team. Until next time, we love you. God bless you.
It's our honor to serve churches and leaders across the globe. We equip ministry leaders with the coaching, events, and resources needed to embrace their calling, get it right with their pastor, and lead in an uncommon way. You can visit our website, leadingsecond.com, to learn more about how we can come alongside you as you lead from the middle, from the second chair, for the second chair.